Cricket is my passion and I cannot avoid it. Hello, friends. Welcome to one of the finest days of Indian cricket, a day which all Indian fans all over the world will remember. Today, India beat Australia in Australia to win the Border Gavaskar Trophy 2-1, back-to-back series win. In fact, they breached the Gaba fortress and went on to win this test match. We have here today Naresh from Pune, Dia from Haryana, and I'll be soon joined by Gurkirat. So let's begin the show. Naresh, tell me, tell
Nice.
me the moment of excitement. Like when did it get to you that India is almost there?
Uh, the way, again, it was Pujara, Rahane for a short period and then Rishabh Pant. But I think Rishabh Pant not coming ahead of Rahane this time, it seemed that, India wanted to go a little safe on it. But Rahane himself was quite aggressive, he scored fast. And then Pujara, Rishabh Pant together. But yeah, losing Pujara. So, that point seemed little dicey that India should play safe and look out for a draw and settle for it. But yeah, we lost Pujara, we lost Mayank Agarwal, but then it was Washington Sundar and Rishabh Pant. Probably they had different things in their mind, and
All right.
that was just brilliant. You don't have this feeling even if you're watching the T20 game. It was so much of excitement in the last few overs. But yeah, all those who said in the same tone that India won in 2018-19, but Australia was without Smith and Warner, I think that needs to stop. There is no but in this. This team has achieved something out of the world.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll also welcome in Gurkirat. I'll come back to you, Gurkirat. Dia, did you wake up in the morning today to see the game?
Definitely, I couldn't sleep. Like day five is something that on the eve of day five I cannot sleep again. I put on my glasses for the same. I had like sleep for like just one hour maybe, and I just stood up at 5 and I was watching the match and I just saw Rohit Sharma getting out. I thought that if we're gonna win this match, we need Rohit Sharma to bat at least post lunch. But when we saw his wicket going, I was like, oh, let's just go for a draw now. And I was just waiting that just rain just comes in and that we just make a draw out of it. But the way Shubman Gill, the way he was pulling, hooking Mitchell Stark, that consecutive three boundaries, those 6-4-4, oh my god. This team has shown, like all these words that everyone has been using: grit, determination, intensity. All these words, I mean, they have just too short for to describe this team, to be honest. And again, we saw Pujara also batting along with Shubman Gill, but his strike rate at that point of time was just 8.8. But I don't know what happened to him post lunch. It shot up to 56 point something, his strike rate. So that was so good to see that earlier he was taking his time and just again his defensive approach that we were seeing. And then he also started playing brilliant shots along with Rishabh Pant as well. But again, we saw him getting out as well. And Ajinkya Rahane also, I think it was not a very necessary shot that he played. And I felt bad for Shubman Gill as well. He deserved a century. But yeah, 91 is no less than a century according to me. And then Rishabh Pant, the man of the match, the man of the moment, the man of the series, I would say. I would say the king of the fourth innings, to be very honest. He has done it in like oval in 2018 in England, that 114. Then in Sydney, we saw that 97 in the fourth innings. And again, now in this fourth innings, that 89 will be very special. That boundary that he hit, like very, very happy, very happy with the way our team batted. And not to forget Washington Sundar's contribution as well. He also took on Pat Cummins. And that's when we thought that, now the run rate is something manageable and we can make a win out of it. Very happy with it, like the way our team batted today. Very happy.
Good evening, Gurkirat. How are you today?
I'm very happy. So it's I'll start with something very personal. I started watching cricket in 2003. I remember India winning in Adelaide in 2003. Then India won in Perth, and every time India used to beat Australia, there were talks of Kolkata 2001. And I always used to regret that. यार मैंने 2001 की series नहीं देखी. Wish I would have started watching this series earlier. But after this win today, I think that regret has gone now because it's been that kind of a series, that kind of a test match, that kind of a fight. I don't think, even though I've not watched 2001 test series, but whatever I have read and everything, I think that maybe Kolkata test in itself is one of the best test matches that we have played and would have probably later. But as a series, I don't think it gets any better. You have so many heroes. There's another thing that has happened, and it's sort of a trivia. No debutant has lost a test match in the series. Australia played Cameron Green in the first test, he won. And India played Shubman Gill and Mohammad Siraj in MCG, India won. In Sydney, Saini and Pukosvi both were debutants, so the match was a draw. In Gabba, Siraj and Sundar were debutants, and uh, India won. So
Good point.
it's been a series for the ages. I've watched the 2004 Border Gavaskar Trophy. I've watched the 2005 Ashes. I've watched the 2019 Ashes. I've watched South Africa beat Australia twice, but to do the way India have done, beating India, beating Australia at Gabba, where only three players among the 11 were born when the last time Australia lost at Gabba. They lost in '89, and I think Pujara was probably an year old, Rahane was 2 years old, and Rohit Sharma was some 3 years old. So it's been that kind of a performance. Nothing to beat this. It's just been this kind of a performance actually needs a Ravi Shastri kind of a commentary and the description. I don't think anyone can match it.
All right. I can see the excitement on all our three fans, Naresh, Dia, and Gurkirat. So, Naresh, let me come back to you again. Yesterday, there were reports that rain is going to be a spoil sport. Tim Payne delayed his declaration and probably gave India a chance to regain the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Maybe it would have been 70 odd overs. There were thunder showers to be coming. And then in the morning, or rather late night, we all saw the forecast, were following Indian cricket, that no, there's going to be no rain. So were you wanting rain or you wanted a full day's play? Be very honest about it.
Okay, I wanted a full day's play, but I never wanted India to lose, to be honest. And this rain thing or everything around Gaba, there was so much of stories when India was already playing in Sydney. India doesn't want to go to Gaba. They have much more stricter quarantine rules, and Australia has never lost at Gaba. There was a lot of mental games going on there. But yeah, wanted a full day's game definitely because though weather was to impact a lot, but it didn't as much as it was forecasted. Wanted to see a good fight, but definitely didn't want India to lose. That was the main ask. Two back-to-back test matches going into the fifth day with this kind of a performance. Very difficult to go through this again in life. So that way it went very well for India.
Dia, like I asked Naresh, were you following the weather yesterday?
Definitely, before even this Gaba test started, we all were saying that on the first day there are predictions of some showers, and the same was for the day 4 and the day 5 as well. So, well, as a cricket fan, I would have wanted that we should get to see an entire days of play. But as an Indian cricket fan, being a bit biased, hang or day 4, the third session of day 4 got washed out, and hopefully on day 5 also something like this happens, because I was not expecting this win from our team. I was like, let the rain gods come in and let us retain this Border Gavaskar Trophy and draw the series, because the kind of circumstances were there. I just want to quote like one thing that I read, and it says that when that ominous hour of 36 all out came in, and after that Virat Kohli left, we all said that there is no chance. When at MCG Australia batted in the first innings, we said there is no chance. Then at SCG we got bundled out. We said there is no chance. We said we are all battered, bruised on the day 5 of the SCG match. Everyone said there is no chance. Again on day 5 of this Gaba test match, everyone said that at Gaba pitch with all those cracks openings, there is no chance. But this team standing right up here and doing all the wonders that is possible. It's not even our like premium 11 that is playing. It's India A that they were referring to, but it's not looking like it's India A. So I was that definite because of that. I was not expecting anything out of them, and they have just proven me wrong in every way possible. As I've mentioned all of this, so they have we said there is no chance, but they have created a chance of all of these circumstances, and tears definitely had to roll down our eyes, when we saw that win coming. Very happy.
Gurkirat, going into day 5, the weather and everything, at any time, not before the match started rather, that in the night yesterday when you went off to sleep, did you have any feeling that India will pull this off?
There was, but somebody who's witnessed Adelaide 2014, Wellington 2014, then Oval 2018. I've not watched that match, but I've heard stories about Chennai in '99, where India came
Sachin.
very close, and Sachin played with a bad back, and India lost by 16 runs. So there were a few scars as to to be hopeful, but at the same times not be too optimistic. So yes, that was there, but I think once India were only one down at lunch, and the way Shubman Gill was batting, there were still hopes, but I wanted India to bat normally till tea, and then sort of take it from there. So one thing where I think Pujara stood out today, apart from other players, was that he knew that the pitch was offering variable bounce. So at every banged in shot delivery, he kept his bat away. He got hit 11 times. That was the difference between Ajinkya Rahane and Pujara today. Rahane had the right intent, not an issue with that. But the first over that he faced coming, the short ball, and variable bounce, I just thought that it was a very low percentage shot for him to attempt at that moment. And when Rahane got out, I was like, this could end very badly, and this could genuinely end in a heartbreak. And but credit to Rishabh Pant, credit to Washington Sundar. That Natarajan shot that he played, which Rohit Sharma plays very well. I think it was the highlight of the day. That one shot to that one shot to Pat Cummins, and a couple of pulls that that Shubman Gill played to coming around the wicket. Those 2-3 shots were just oozing his class and his authority. I think he just thought that, okay, if anything is coming short my way, I'm going to send it across the boundary. And he just dispatched it like it was some medium pacer or something. So a lot of these shots also helped in ensuring that Australia started spreading the field, and there were a lot few people in catching positions. So a complete team effort, whichever way you look at it. And yes, couldn't be happier, because for all the talk of Smith and Warner coming back, Warner in 4 innings didn't score a 50. Smith averages less than both Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant in this test series. And to average lesser than two guys who are just 21 and 23, speaks volumes of the caliber of the two players that we had. So extremely happy.
Well, I'm loving this show. I don't think it can get bigger than this. And the excitement of all our Bharat Army fans. Naresh, tell me something about Gill. Like today, we did see glimpses of Gill in the first few test matches, rather from the second and the third. But today in the second innings, tell us more about that innings.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. He has so much of confidence in his own instincts. He continues to play what he likes to do on the up. There are some shots which are just, out of the world. It needs a lot of practice. He continues to play that towards the cover, and he's looking at ease against this kind of a bowling attack. And as Dia said, 91 was much bigger than 100, and probably he could have gone on and on and on. But yeah, Nathan Lyon used his entire experience. But he was the first to start putting pressure on Tim Paine to spread the field out. They knew he would like to, and he's like Rohit Sharma. He loves to pull, he loves to hook, so he put the field placing there for that. But he was very watchful on those situations, on what ball he needs to hit. And that over, which got more than 20 runs, actually, he hit 162 boundaries, and then Pujara also got a boundary against I think it was Mitchell Starc. That kind of opened up. That really opened up, and others also followed, could feel that confidence that yes, we can score quickly over here. So I think Gill set the pace purely because he lost Rohit early, and then Pujara was there. And I think Pujara is, playing his role so well, that others rotate around him. So Gill opened up, and then, yeah, rest all, as we say, is now going to be in history books the way India won the game.
Just want to add something on Gill. Both in Sydney and here when he completed the 50 in Sydney, he got out as soon as he reached his 50, and I think that it was not a great delivery as such. It was clear lapse of concentration which batsmen get after getting to a 50. And over here also, if you analyze his dismissal, you could sense that there was an adrenaline rush because he went for that drive through the hands. He didn't reach it through the pitch to the pitch of the delivery because earlier in the day he came down the track and hit those two similar cover drives which were just along the ground, and he reached to the pitch of them. So I think this is something he'll get on with experience. Probably his third test match, so you couldn't be harsh on it. Another thing which I want to add is that Nathan Lyon, knew that he got Rishabh Pant out in Sydney by throwing the ball outside the off stump. And today, after Pujara got out, he kept throwing that to Rishabh Pant, and Pant kept leaving it or kept cutting him. And I think that for me was the highlight of the whole game. How Pant matured in just 2 innings. He knew he got out while going for a drive outside the off stump. And today there was several instances where he kept throwing the bait, and he just kept leaving it out, especially once Pujara got out. I think that was particularly the highlight of the day. It also shows how how players can grow just in a couple of innings. How they can build that temperament, and sometimes you may not build a temperament throughout your whole career, and sometimes you can just build it in just 2 games. So that is the beauty of Test cricket, as you may call it.
True. Dia, we are talking about Gill. You saw him, and you also mentioned that 1 over of Stark, which probably gave India the impetus. You feel so?
Yeah, definitely that, at times you need that game changing over that, that can shift the momentum in your side. And according to me, that 20 run over was that over. And that too came off Mitchell Stark. We know that, in Australia, he is very lethal as a bowler, as a left arm pacer. But that we didn't get to see him in this series. And that's very good for us. But, the way he took on an experienced bowler like Stark was so good to see. And when you see an experienced player like Rohit Sharma getting out, you see that the onus is on you now, that you have to perform, and that too on the day 5 of a pitch like this. And we were thinking that with with all those cracks opening up, that pitch might do might behave differently. But of course that was not the case. Again, the rain helped us in that too. But yeah, as we saw Shubman Gill, as I mentioned too, that his pulls and hook were, all those shots were so good, and he has shown that temperament that he can be a good test player. And a video also came in where we saw that his lucky red towel was there in his pocket. So I remember in his under 19, the way when he hit that century against Pakistan, then he was carrying that red towel, and we again saw that So then I was praying that maybe we can get to see a 100 from in this tour. So that will be very good to see. And now I'm really happy that he has got a chance to be in the England tour, in the England series as well, because the squad has been announced for the same. And with this innings, I can say that he has definitely I can say that that he has fixed his position as an opener for India in the test matches, because he deserves all the opportunities, because the kind of temperament that he has shown, that the rest of our opening batsmen have not been able to show, like Rohit Sharma. Because we expect from a senior batsman like him that you are not going to play shots like these and not get out, knowing that you are in a good position to bat. That we didn't get to see in Shubman Gill. His, everything, he was well poised, in good position, and he was very confident with his shots. So this is something that we expect from a senior player like Rohit Sharma as well. One was criticizing his dismissal in the first innings of India's batting. So yeah, I think him being just 21, and already he has got 250s in this tour in the 2 matches that he has played. Very good to see, and I as I said, that set the tone for us, and gave us the hope that we can win this match.
Gurkirat, since we are talking about Gill, I wanted you to tell me about this young boy.
So, obviously, I'm not sure how many people know this, but he was also the man of the tournament in the under 19 World Cup that he won in 2018. And, anyone who's seen him play at the domestic level or at the IPL level knew that he always had the time. Okay. because a lot of times what happens with Indian players is, and I don't know how many how many people follow the Syed Mushtaq Ali or the Ranji Trophy, but a lot of times what happens with Indian players is that they start getting rushed with pace. With Gill, that is not an issue, and it shows he's a special talent. I've seen very few 21-year-olds who are not rushed with pace. I don't think he's reached his peak yet. Obviously, there are some things that he can still work on, like knowing where his off jump is, and being more aware of how to leave a few certain deliveries. But all in all, I think it's something which for which the whole India A setup deserves credit for. Rahul Dravid has really worked a lot on these guys. You see that with Siraj as well. You saw that with Hanuma Vihari as well. And with Navdeep Saini also, it's unfortunate that he got injured, but the improvement that he did from his first test to the first innings here was marvelous to see. It's very similar to how Shardul Thakur also improved late on the first day. The first spell that he bowled, he got carried away a little with the bounce, but he improved extremely well in late in the evening session on the first day. Then in the second innings also, he took 4 wickets. So this whole tour has also been a story of how all Indian players have improved. I remember before the third test we were discussing Pujara's not scoring runs. Then we see that out of the 4 innings he's played 350 plus innings. So it's been that sort of tournament where everyone has improved. Washington Sundar also started off with a few lines where he started giving away a few runs, but then again came back brilliantly, dismissed Cameron Green, got Nathan Lyon out. Everyone has chipped in where they've been required. So yeah, I mean, you can talk as much as you want about so many of the players over here in this squad, and it won't be enough. I genuinely feel that.
That's why actually I'm talking player versus player. So now I'll come to Cheteshwar Pujara, the Rock. Naresh, so many blows. Tell us about this man.
And and that's what in the previous test, or probably even at MCG, there were talks about with Kohli not being there, Pujara should speed up. But no, that's his natural game. And yeah, Kohli coming at 4 gave a different approach to the whole game plan or how the runs would come in. But Pujara's role is well defined, and he is 100% living up to that expectation of what his role is. And especially today, he knew how important, he values his wicket. And that's why you see the dismissals. There have been just some brilliant deliveries bowled by Australian pacers, so he's rare that he will throw it away. So, and today it was very important for him to go as long as possible, bat deep, because the others had to play around him, and everyone knew Gill, Pant can, score quickly. So today's inning, you just cannot put any value to that kind of inning. It's so precious the way he has played today, and taking all the blows. It suddenly when Gill used to bat, he was pulling and hooking, and Pujara was trying to defend but getting it on his body. So Australia has played Pujara lots, so they know what to bowl to him. At the same time, they also know how tough it is to get him out. He won't score that quickly, but yeah, keeping that into perspective, Pujara's today's inning has been extremely priceless. Because it set the tone after early fall of Rohit's wicket. And sometimes the partner gets onto him, like that 20 run over. Even he scored a boundary in that. There were a couple of other shots after lunch. He started cutting. So yeah, he's someone you don't need to say anything. His role is well defined. He knows number 3 is the most precious position in Test cricket as a batsman.
All right, Dia, Pujara the Rock. Tell me something about this great player.
So I just read this stat which says that he has become the first Indian player to play 200 plus balls in each inning 6 times against Australia. Earlier, it was Virat Kohli and Sunil Gavaskar who have done this 5 times, and now it's Chiteshwar Pujara, and that sums up the entire series that he has had. Last time he was the highest run scorer for us. This time he's the highest, the person who has faced the most number of balls. So at times it's not just the runs that matter; it's the impact that you create. Because this time the Aussies also feared, and they know that you need to bowl the perfect line and length to him right outside the off stump to get him out. All the deliveries that he got out to were actually Jaffas. It was not like he got out cheaply playing some rash shot. It was like he was making the Australian bowlers, Cummins especially, bowl in their best way possible. And yeah, if he's going to make them do that, of course, with the lineup like that, they're going to deliver that one delivery that will get him out, and that will be unplayable. And that we got to see in all the times whenever he got out. It was not like he played a rash shot. So I think for all those people who have criticized him, that should not be the case. Although at first I also thought, because of course that thing comes in your mind because you want your team to win. Because when he was playing today in the first session, he was playing at a strike rate of 8.8. I was like, had and we had scored like 86 odd runs in the first session. I was like, had he scored a bit more, we could have like had 100 plus runs. I think we could have a better chance in this match. But again, that's how he plays, and we can just keep our viewpoints, because according to me, to a player like him, that doesn't matter. He knows his role, and it is defined well to him, and he's going to deliver you in that way only. And I don't think that he did any harm to not pacing up the strike rate. Of course that matters in test cricket, but that also matters that who is playing along with you. If a batsman like Shubman Gill and Pant is going to play, then I am ready to accept that that Cheteshwar Pujara is going to bat like that, because that's what we expect from them as well. Because their partnership should be there. One is defending all the good deliveries, and on the other one is scoring at a good rate. So that is also a good thing that we get to see in this Indian cricket team, when someone like Pant or Shubman Gill is there along with Cheteshwar Pujara. They score runs, and he is the one who is facing all those blows on him. And it was very disheartening to see. And I saw one meme where he was like, there were pads all over his body, like, because the kind of blows that he has faced today was he if we say resilient word, Cheteshwar Pujara definitely defines that word according to me. And no matter how much runs he has scored, he has been brilliant for us in this series with Virat Kohli's absence. So yeah, today also he played a very good knock of 50 odd runs. Very good to see. He was good.
So Gurkirat, do you agree it is Pujara, the player who softened the Australian bowlers, rather tired them relentlessly, and the other players cashed in?
Yes, without a doubt. And so now India has beaten Australia in 3 consecutive Test series. They beat them in 2017 also, when Australia came to India, and even then, India were 1-0 down in that series also. In Bangalore, in second innings, Pujara had scored a 92 on a very difficult pitch. Then in Ranchi, where India were going to be on the back foot, he stitched a partnership with Riddhiman Saha, batted for 500 balls in one innings, scored a double hundred, and today also. So, what truly deflates, I think, any bowler is that every time he was hit, the next ball that he faced, he had a dead bad defense to it, or he left it. It showed that he had unwavering powers of concentration. Every time he was hit, the next delivery was followed by a straight bad defense. It was not as if he got beaten, he got rattled or anything. Because sometimes, when you get hit, even the best, have their concentration which is wavered. So, it's like I said, any criticism of Pujara was anyway, I thought, unfair, because he was being blamed for the batting which was failing around him, not particularly for his failures. And today we see that what value he brings into the side. Because if anybody has seen that Test documentary which Australia had made, all the Australian bowlers said that they were sick of looking at Pujara. In Sydney, last tour, Nathan Lyon coming up to Pujara and asking him, "Aren't you tired or aren't you bored of batting?" And today Pujara became the only batsman who has more than 500 runs against Nathan Lyon alone. So it speaks volumes of why Nathan Lyon has also not been so successful. Nathan Lyon averages some 55 or 60 in 55 in this Test series, and his strike rate has been 124. Nathan Lyon has taken less than 10 wickets in this series. and his strike rate is 124, and a lot of it is down to Cheteshwar Pujara. Not that others have not played him well, but Pujara has also been a major contributor to that fact. And for Lion to get out bowled by all three Indian spinners, whether it is Ravichandran Ashwin, whether it is Jadeja, or even Washington Sundar, speaks volumes about our spinners as well. So you know that is what Pujara has done in this whole tournament. Blunted the Australian attack, and when there have been runs, he's taken those runs as well. Today he was slightly aggressive against Nathan Lyon. Whenever he came short, he sort of pulled him and took runs whichever runs which were available.
Naresh, we spoke about Pujara, we spoke about Gill. Now let's come to the man of the moment, Rishabh Pant. After what he did in the Sydney second innings, did you have that same confidence that no, Pant will go one notch further and take India home?
He had the confidence after the Sydney knock, and it seemed that he left it incomplete, getting out in 97. And there was fear in Australia when Pant had to walk in, because Gill had also done quite a lot of damage, and they play the same kind of cricket of attacking. So, Pant came in confident, very confident. And honestly, I'll tell you today what he's done. He's batted Saha out of the team. Let's be honest. When the first test started, many were saying that in test cricket, you need a much more well-skilled wicketkeeper who can bat. But I think now the entire country has to accept that let's go with Pant, a batsman who can keep. He's batted Saha out for sure. He becomes the first choice of a wicketkeeper batsman after these two back-to-back fourth innings. The inning that he played today, that's the impact even Pujara has on his partner. He will teach you when you're batting with him how to value your own wicket. And there is so much Pant has to learn from Pujara on playing to the merit. You see, Pujara, never would hit on a good ball. He would respect that. He will wait for a bad ball, and a bowler will bowl a bad ball to you. It's human. And that is what Pant is learning. And that's how important Pant is for test cricket. I'm not a big fan of Pant playing white ball cricket, because he will learn a lot and his career will really do well if he plays test cricket. Obviously, he has lots to improve as far as keeping to spinners.
Gurkirat, can you make a statement, or do you agree that India has found its Adam Gilchrist?
On potential, yes. In terms of performance, there's still a long way to go, because players like Adam Gilchrist, MS Dhoni are not made in a day. People don't remember the struggles and the mistakes they did early on in their careers. So on potential, yes, but there's still a long way to go, and it's a good start on that path. I definitely say that. I want to add something on the man of the match bit. There was a part of me which sort of wanted Shardul to get also, or that man of the match to be shared with Shardul, because the innings that he played, especially on the third evening, if not for that innings, this match would have been done and dusted way before. And to back it up with four important wickets in the second innings was also something. So his contribution somewhere has gone unnoticed, but the way he batted on that third evening, I mean, some of those drives on the up, it could put any good batsman to shame, especially the drives that he played to covers, and the way he opened his account, just pulling Pat Cummins for six. I mean, Shardul Thakur has received a lot of criticism and trolling for his white ball exploits. And I've always been saying that he's not a white ball bowler, he's a red ball bowler, and once he gets his chance, he will showcase. And I think his innings that day was just brilliant. The way he also took a few blows. I remember he got a ball on his arm, but he kept batting, and the way he batted, it's something. Today he got out, unfortunately. I would have loved even if Shardul Thakur had hit the winning runs, but tremendous performance. Coming back to Pant, like I said, it's a work in progress, because he still has to improve his keeping. But on potential, he's definitely a clutch player. He showed that in the IPL final as well. Did not scored anything, which was very similar to how Adam Gilchrist's 2007 World Cup had gone. Adam Gilchrist had not scored a single 50 leading up to that World Cup final, and he scored a 149 in that final. Pant had a similar, just the result was different, but his innings was similar. And when the first time Delhi Capitals won a knockout game in the IPL was on the back of Pant playing a blinder against SRH in Vizag in 2019. So definitely in terms of mentality, in terms of being clutch, he's there, but still has to keep working on his wicket keeping. And I think sky is the limit for him. He'll definitely get better.
I'm loving this chat show, guys. Naresh, since Gurkir started about Shardul, I want you to talk about Shardul and Washington Sundar. These two guys who made India actually come back into the game when they were at one stage after Pant's wicket in the first innings were down and out.
Yeah, 186 for 6 and then getting a partnership of 123. We have been talking the entire series or even in the past that, tail doesn't wag. So 123 run partnership, I think that should be taken as a winning moment as we see the test match now, what happened in the end. Because if an early wicket that time, it could have been 400 plus, which Tim Paine, he could have declared a little earlier, given a target of 400 plus. India probably would have batted another session. Maybe we would have not been able to save the wickets. But yeah, that partnership in a way also brought down Australia's morale a lot, because they have been doing well, getting the tail out early. So Shardul Thakur, and he's coming with a lot of first-class experience, playing in Mumbai. IPL, he plays for Chennai, but, there's so much he has done with red ball in his first-class career, because he was coming with a lot of wickets, 200 plus wickets in red ball, coming into this game. So, and these guys have taken the opportunity given to them. And honestly, this bowling attack, which we saw in this test match, 5 of them, I don't know whether they'll play as a team together, and so all of them just took the opportunity. They know they're making special appearance, and such a special one they have made it for themselves, so, but yeah, Shardul Thakur, is good to see him in the squad for England, against England. I think it's just brilliant. He showed what an all-round performance could be, and he replaced Jadeja. We need to keep in mind Washington Sundar is replacing Ashwin, Thakur is replacing Jadeja. That those are big shoes to fill, the kind of experience Ashwin and Jadeja have in Test cricket. So I think full justice for their selection they have done, giving more headaches to the selection committee now. But it's good to see that we'll continue with bio bubbles, so we'll have jumbo squads going together. But yeah, 7 wickets in the match, that 50 in the first inning, that set the tone. Shardul Thakur set the tone, and I agree. He with Gurkrit, he should have been the man of the match. But yes, well deserved by Rishabh Pant also, and that's the unfortunate part. We announced a man of the match. This game had
maybe it could have been shared.
There were many men of the match in this particular test match.
Let's not forget Siraj also. His first fifer. With all that he had gone through. I don't remember anyone just becoming a leader of the pace attack in his third test match.
Yeah.
And taking a fifer. And I think one of the moments for me in the entire test match was when Bumrah hugged him. So I remember Bumrah had also taken a 5-wicket haul in his third test match in Johannesburg, and in his third test in Australia, Bumrah had then again also taken a fifer. So a lot of similarities there, and you could see even Shardul. You could see when Siraj was walking the team off of the field, the next man behind him was Shardul, and how he was also very happy for the success that Siraj had.
So, and mentioning about Bumrah, I did mention at the end of second test, how when Siraj was bowling, Bumrah was there around at mid-on, mid-off. So, the kind of mentor roles these seniors have played, for this team. And that's what, obviously Ashwin was there around Washington. Definitely when they're off the ground, there's so much of mentoring happening with these senior guys. It's such similar to how the IPL culture is, when you're playing with seniors, you're playing with so many overseas cricketers. So it was a very, very positive and a very healthy moment for, as Gurkrit said, Bumrah hugging Mohammad Siraj. Bumrah felt so content with Siraj's performance. And that kind of a feeling, it really takes you a long way when each team member feels proud about someone else's performance, So and that's why I said it was special appearance, to be honest, by this team, and they made it very special for themselves.
We are definitely going to talk about the England squad when we have a show next week, probably. Dia, I was talking about Washington Sundar debut as well as Thakur's second test match. Tell me about both of them.
As everyone has talked about them, I just want to say that they came in as net bowlers, and now they have, they're leaving in this test match as, match winners for us in the very first test match. First of all, I was very skeptical that they have got Shardul Thakur in. I have discussed it with a lot of people that, the way he was bowling in the first innings, he was giving a lot of freebies, giving a lot of runs. Still, he scalped like 3 wickets. But yeah, we saw that, he was, the bounce that the pitch was offering him, he was getting carried away with that, as Gurkirat has mentioned it earlier to me. He said that, and yeah, I definitely agree that, of course, with all those, he was playing his second test match only, probably like, because it was his first test match, because last time he bowled just 1 over against Afghanistan. So of course all those butterflies in stomach and everything is there. In Washington Sundar also, we saw he got Steve Smith out, and that was one of has to be one of his proudest, or the proud moment, that his first test wicket will be of Steve Smith.
I called it a Pongal gift.
Yeah,
Pongal
definitely. Definitely. And with Ashwin not being there as he got injured, and then Washington Sundar performing, and the all-round performance that he gave. First of all, those 3 wickets in the first innings, and then he performed with the bat as well. That 123-run partnership. Who would have thought that we are going to reach till here? At first, I thought that we're going to give a lead of at least 100 runs plus. But then this lead got reduced to just around 54 runs, because of both of them. Only the way they both played, and they were not scared of the kind of the short ball stuff that were being like that were being thrown at them. They were hitting all those shots that they could, and again, was very good to see. And in the third innings, in Australia's second innings, we saw Shardul Thakur taking up 4 wickets. So those kind of wickets, those moments came in for them, and they cashed in on those. And that, again, as Gurkirat also mentioned, when Mohammad Siraj was leading the pace attack, the entire playing 11, Shardul Thakur was behind him. And the best thing was that Shardul Thakur was also at 4 wickets, and Mohammad Siraj was also at 4 wickets. But Shardul Thakur was the one who took the catch of the fifth wicket that fell. The catch was taken by Shardul Thakur. So that was so good to see, that the team spirit is there. They're not envy of each other, that I'm going to take a fifer or anything. That was not there, and it was so good to see.
Gurkirat, you mentioned already about Shardul Thakur, but now that we saw that he can also bat, and with Hardik Pandya still yet to bowl, or probably to show his fitness, can Shardul Thakur be groomed, or we are talking too early that as the new Pandya?
Comparison with Pandya and is a little unfair, because if you are to look at the first class stats of Hardik Pandya, you will see that for Hardik Pandya to make it to the test side just on one skill is difficult. Most all-rounders do get picked up on one skill alone. When Ravindra Jadeja came in, he came in on his batting skill, and then he developed his bowling. So I think it's too soon to talk of how Thakur can replace Hardik Pandya, because I believe that when the time comes that Ravindra Jadeja would be available, both him and Washington could be a backup to Ravindra Jadeja. Because I don't see. I think Ravindra Jadeja is now batting good enough to be the number 6 for India and also bowl. Or he could be a number 7 and Rishabh Pant could be a number 6 that way. But yes, if Shardul keeps bowling and develops a control, then both him and Siraj, with the kind of bowling that they do, because they're not known for bouncing out the batsman or rushing the batsman with their pace. They're more about movement in the air and off the pitch. So they could be very handy when India travel to England or New Zealand. So that is where they will be more lethal. But India will have to manage all these bowlers and players accordingly. It will depend on how it goes. But at the same time, India will have to monitor Navdeep Saini as well, because he sort of got injured this test match. We'll have to see how he shapes up, because he's also a very good prospect. It's unfortunate that he couldn't show much for it, but I have no doubt that he'll also do well when he's given a chance.
All right. We spoke about all the players. Now, this is one question I need to ask all of you all. Ajinkya Rahane. Should he be replacing Virat Kohli as the captain? Naresh, Test captain.
See, honestly, see, one thing is for sure, it was known that he's a stand-in captain. And, after Adelaide, I felt that he has nothing to lose. So there was something about him that he may create history, and actually he has created history. He's come out as a brilliant leader. I think it's going to make Virat Kohli's job also easier now, and there would be lot of seriousness on inputs given by Rahane to the entire team. I think his role will change. But he becomes a very good replacement, automatic replacement in absence, and that will help India to have a good, what you call it, the work and rest balance which they want to do. Some tours like Sri Lanka and all, we have a captain ready now in Rahane. But yeah, it was his role being a stand-in. You can say a little bit of pressure from the perspective that if there's a loss of a test match under Kohli, there would be pressure. Because Rahane maintains his 100% win record, to be honest. Just one draw in Sydney, he continues to win the test matches. But yeah, that's what he's brought out in this particular series. It's going to be tough, Virat Kohli. And it's you have to respect, both come with very different personalities. And Virat Kohli personality is rubbing off on others also in the team, because they play that aggressive brand of cricket. But yeah, role given to Rahane, he has fulfilled the role, and as I said, he's created history.
Dia, I mean, there have been rumors around, not rather rumors, people have been talking, no, Rahane should be the captain immediately. That's how we jump to conclusions. So you want to see something like that?
I don't know how to answer that. I can give a biased opinion. I'm a big Virat Kohli fan. I can say that no, Virat Kohli should be the captain. But if I not give an unbiased opinion, I would still say that Virat Kohli should be the captain for us in the Test cricket. And of course, that's not going to change, because we the Indian cricket fans are like that only, because if we see a player captain doing well, we are like, he is the god for us, and we love to jump to conclusions so fast. So that has been the case, and I would not say that we have jumped onto conclusion that fast, because Ajinkya Rahane has given us those results as well. In Australia, against Australia in 2017, the first Test match in which he captained, we won that. Against Afghanistan, we won. In MCG, we won this time. At SCG, we draw the Test match, and now we won. So we have not lost. That Ajinkya Rahane, the captain, has not lost any match as a captain. But still, there are way more things with a player like Virat Kohli being there in the team. Of course, Ajinkya Rahane won't get the chance to be the permanent captain, and knowing that at one particular point of time there was, he was not even, a fixed member of this team. Knowing he is the vice captain, still his position was not fixed. So of course, with Virat Kohli, if Virat Kohli is going to be there, then he's going to be the captain, because Ajinkya Rahane, the batsman, also needs to perform. He gave us just one match-winning innings at MCG. Apart from that, he has not been great. He has just threw away all of his starts, and that's hurtful. And we expect, if he is captaining the team, that he should lead them in that way as well, because that's what we have been seeing Virat Kohli doing, that the way he leads, because he shows that this is how I have scored runs, and this is not something that I expect similar from you. Maybe something small contributions from all of you, and then we can win the Test match. So this is something that is lacking in Ajinkya Rahane. I would say that he has been doing so well. He has been so good with his fielding positions, with his DRS referrals and everything. His bowling changes as well. But again, as a batsman also, he needs to show, as a leader also, he needs to show his team that I am making runs, so I expect something like that from your side as well. So if that also comes in, maybe we might see Ajinkya Rahane the captain, but of course that's not happening. So yeah, Virat.
Gurkirat, Dia says that Virat Kohli scores, or rather leads from the front with the bat. Now, when you come to his captainship, okay, I know Rahane has only captained India for a few Test matches and created history. Would you think about this captainship change, or is it too early to talk about it, or Virat is the right man?
I wouldn't. So, see, one captaincy is more than just having a C against your name on paper. Let's get that thing clear first, because If we remember when India won in Pakistan in 2004, Saurav Ganguly did not play the first two test matches. It was Rahul Dravid who was the captain, but Saurav Ganguly is still credited for it. So captaincy is not just playing on that day, or having that C against your name on the team sheet. It is also about developing a brand of cricket that you play. So that is the brand of cricket that this team plays is the same that Virat Kohli that they will play in the presence of Virat Kohli. And like Naresh said, that his aggression has rubbed on to everyone, and you can see that aggression rubbing on to Ajinkya Rahane as well. The way he plays in how he goes in with five bowlers, which something that Virat Kohli only started, and how going for a chase on the fifth day was also something that Virat Kohli started in Adelaide 2014, which was his first test match as captain. So regardless of who's captain, in fact, even if sort of say somebody else would have been captain, say a Pujara or an Ashwin been captain, if say Rahane had missed the test match, I have no doubt that the team would have played in the same manner. Okay. And now, if we are going to, if we are to discuss Rahane's captaincy, he was brilliant with his captaincy in Melbourne. But I felt that in SCG he overbowled Jasprit Bumrah, which I spoke of in the preview as well. There was because he had forgotten that there was Ravindra Jadeja on first day, and I think that is also something which led to Jasprit Bumrah getting unfit. And in this test match also, the one thing that I did not like about how the Indian team was going about is that why was Navdeep Saini bowling in 120s or 130s? He was clearly unfit. He couldn't even run, and he was on the field. That was a classic case of aggravating a bowler's injury, which was not needed. So that is something that I don't think would have happened with Virat Kohli. Another thing which I thought which Rahane could have done well on the fourth day was that have a third man in place, because when Australia were running away with the game in the first session, a lot of runs went through that third man. We could have had that third man, considering he knew that Australia had to make the play. So there are these finer details, and like Dia mentioned, Ajinkya Rahane, again, I thought that after that 100 in MCG, it would be a second wind, which I talked about it. But the way he got out in both these innings, I think Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant sometimes get a lot of criticism for playing aerial shots and getting out. But if you're going to ask me about the percentages, I thought that Rohit Sharma's dismissal in the first innings, was still a more percentage shot than what say Ajinkya Rahane's was in the first innings and today. Because in the first innings, he got out the third time he played that drive away from the body. Okay, and you don't expect that from somebody who's played 65 plus test matches, is also the captain. He's probably on his second tour of overseas tours, and you expect better from him. This series also, he's averaged less than 40 despite that 100 in MCG. Okay, he averaged around 30 in Australia last time. He averaged less than 30 in England. So now, just because Ajinkya Rahane performs when India wins, sort of his lack of performances, or sometimes when he throws away his wickets, it goes under the radar. So I would actually prefer if Ajinkya Rahane starts converting those starts and scores big daddy 100. I, for the life of me, cannot believe that Ajinkya Rahane does not have a test double 100. Somebody of his class and pedigree not having a double 100 is something which is unacceptable to me. For me, he should have been averaging around 50 in his test career, but he's averaging 42. So I'd rather like Ajinkya Rahane to focus more on his batting. Okay, the home series is coming up against England. I would like him to score minimum of 350 runs. Okay, if he does even more than that, it would be even great. And I would let the captaincy, be with Virat Kohli. And like Naresh mentioned, his inputs will increase. There are enough leaders in this squad anyway. Now you see Jasprit Bumrah, who's only 15, 16 test old. He's also a leader on his own. There's Ravindra Jadeja, who's played more than 50 test matches. There's Cheteshwar Pujara. There's Rohit Sharma. There's Ravichandran Ashwin, who's also played. There's Ishant Sharma, who's nearing his 100 test match. So there's no dearth of leaders in this Indian team anyway. With the kind of experience that they have, what they need is that they continue to play the same brand of cricket. And anyone who's sort of lagging off his performance, the team gives him the confidence to back him and ask him, okay, we are backing you. You need to do better, and we are sure you will be able to do it. If that keeps happening, regardless of who's the captain on paper, I think that the team will continue to play the same brand of cricket, and for that only Virat Kohli should remain the captain.
All right. We've spoken about all the players. I have two questions each, but I probably think the question which I can't let it go. We've had wonderful 4 Test match series against Australia. Naresh, you're man of the series for India. One.
I think I'll irrespective of number of runs, I will still go with Ajinkya Rahane.
Dia, you're man of the series from India.
Yeah, Ravichandran Ashwin.
गुरकीरत, आपके हिसाब से आपका मैन ऑफ द सीरीज वो कौन है? इंडिया का वो वाइट प्लेयर आपको लगता है कि who made India win this series?
Rishabh Pant, highest run scorer. I would have either gone for Ravichandran Ashwin or Rishabh Pant. She picked Ravichandran Ashwin, so I thought I'll go for Rishabh Pant. He was the second highest scorer last time. Scored some 350 odd runs. This series he scored 268 odd runs, and he scored it at an average of 60 plus.
Lovely. Well, 19th of January 2021 will go on to the history books that India registered the back-to-back series win against the Aussies, breached the Gaba fortress. It was wonderful talking to the Bharat Army fans. Naresh, Dia, Gurkirat, thank you so much. I think Gurkirat wants to add something. Go on. Today is the day. We can't stop.
So I was just discussing this with someone. This win was very similar to how the 2002 NatWest series win was. At that time you had two youngsters, Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh, who had played some blinders when everybody had given up. And today you had another two youngsters in Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant, who'd shown through. So this win, I think, was the perfect synergy, as they call in the corporate world, where you keep using the word synergy. This victory was the synergy of the 2001 Test Series and the 2002 NatWest Trophy. And, it just gives me too much of joy because I did not watch any of those games live. So I just tell myself that, I've somehow made it up for, this game has made up for me not being able to watch those games. I just feel that way.
Dia, you want to say something?
Yes. As you all know that the COVID vaccine has came in. So I want to say that this series was like that vaccine because the cricket that was infected in the year 2020, we can say that this series has proved to be that vaccine as a revival of Test cricket that was affected in the year 2020, and we can say that this is the perfect redemption, the perfect comeback of this Test cricket. And whosoever says that a lot of talks came in that the Test cricket should be for like 4 days only and everything, this series have proved that the last 2 Test matches, no, you need a perfect day 5 Test match in order to decide that who is the ultimate winner. Till this day 5, till the tea, we didn't know who is going to win. See, the series could have gone anyway. We could have got a tie, a draw, maybe a washout, maybe India winning or Australia winning. So such has been this series, and I'm just so proud of my team. And I want to thank you as well, sir, for giving us this platform to share all our views about this amazing game of Test cricket, of talking about this amazing Border Gavaskar Trophy, and it was wonderful interacting with you and all the fellow Bharat Army members, and talking about this game, getting to know a lot of insights and new things. So yeah, I'm very much thankful to you all and to my team as well. Very happy.
You're welcome, Dia, and we are not going anywhere. We will be continuing the chat show irrespective India wins or not. We are going to have a pre-show. We're going to have a post-match show. Naresh, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, to your point, 19th December 2020 also went into history for, unfortunately, other reasons, that India got all out for 36. So 30 days down the line, we have created another history quickly. So, and that's what, these 30 days, that's the reason I rate Rahane very high for these 30 days. Just imagine he was there only for 30 days to create this history.
Brilliant, brilliant. It was lovely talking to you guys. And as all of you all have expressed their joy, their happiness, probably we can watch the highlights again and again, the series, the 36 allowed, the second Test match, the third Test match, the fourth Test match. And if you get a chance, try and also see our show, which we have been talking about, what you all have spoken. I really love the way you all express yourselves. You guys have in-depth knowledge of cricket, and trust me, we're going to have many more shows going. We'll catch you guys again for the preview of the India-England series before the 5th of February. The dates will be given to you all. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.